to overpay him this time. And so Padres traded him.
Interesting. To a division
rival. Know. To a division rival, too, yeah.
Which should tell you all you need to know about how
Blake Snell, exactly.
How the Padres are feeling about Blake Snell if they dealt him to a division rival.
Bro, and even when I was watching last year, everyone was so hyped on Blake Snell, and I just could not wrap my head around it. He just didn't, I don't know if it was just his pitch selection or what it was, but he was not. He
was fucking lights out in the World Baseball Classic and then just didn't show up for the MLB season.
True. He did look really good in the Classic. I forgot about that.
He's been battling some injuries and stuff, though, but...
Yeah, but like it's not the type of injuries, though, where it would be setting you back this much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was part of a nasty pitching rotation for Japan in that World Baseball Classic.
Yeah. That was fucking disgusting.
Shohei and Blake Snell as your 1-2.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. Like, I can't believe they allowed that.
Well, it's like how Xander Schauffele and Colin Morikawa each had opportunities to compete for Japan if they wanted to at the Olympics.
Yeah,
because each of them have like one Japanese grandparent. Which is apparently enough.
That is enough.
Dude, the sky looks so pretty right now.
Dude, I know. Shout out Arizona.
I'm catching some blue and some pink right now, just looking out my window.
Ooh. All right. All righty. You ready to rock and roll?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hello, D-Gens. Welcome to Degenerate Takes. I, of course, am the Brofect1 AJ. Joining me, as always, he's the man with the numbers, sportsbook whisperer, college basketball guru, daddy of the diamond. All hail the king of the links, the prince of the props, if you will, the money train, Noah. Noah, how are we feeling today on this Monday eve of March Madness?
Oh, man. I got to tell you, AJ, I've just been all the free time I've had today has been spent just staring at the bracket and trying to figure out what's going to set mine apart from other people's, right?
Yes.
Like, obviously, you got your popular upset picks that everyone's on. You got your teams that shouldn't really get upset in the first couple rounds. And then you got a lot of just toss-up games that are really interesting. And, you know, those ones aren't always going to matter that much, right? No. Like, I look at an FAU Northwestern. Like, whoever wins that game is losing to UConn in the next round. So I've spent way too much time waffling back and forth on games like that are only going to get me 1 point in my bracket.
Yeah. No,
you know, those might be the difference maker, but honestly, I've found out it's really not. If you can get 2 or 3 of the Final Four teams right, you're usually near the top, if not number one, in your bracket pool. It's really about getting all those as many Elite Eight teams as you can, as many Final Four teams as you can, and if you get 2 or 3 of the Final Four teams and a good like 5 or 6 of the Elite Eight teams right, you probably got a good chance to win.
No, I completely agree with you. And thank you for bringing up the bracket. No, I know we didn't have to work too hard for that, but I did just drop the link for our bracket challenge in the chat. So go check that out again. Winner gets a shirt and a D-Gen sticker. But if we get over 50 people to sign up, you will be getting a $50 gift card of your choice as well. So go sign up for that. Noah, I know. I'm excited about March too. And I'm the same way. All my free time, I just finished my official version 2 of the bracket. Version 1 was last night, my initial reactions and everything. And then version 2 I have here now. And I know it's not perfect. And it's fine. We got a couple of days left. We're going to be tinkering and we're going to dive into that, get into some of those tougher games that we're going to talk about. But Noah, while all this is going on, the NFL is still finding ways to grab headlines, and I honestly find it absolutely incredible.
Yeah, the NFL kind of loves to do that, don't they? They stay quiet when other things are quiet, and then when there's something else to focus on, the NFL's like, hey, you forget about me? I'm right over here. Yeah. I didn't go away. And the NFL is just really good at drawing those big headlines.
Yeah.
in the middle of something else big going on. They love to do that. They just love to do it.
No, absolutely. And Noah, I'm not going to beat around the bush. Let's talk about the news that had me running outside, screaming at the top of my lungs, absolutely pissed off while we were having a good game of beer die. And that would be the Chicago Bears trading Justin Fields to the Pittsburgh Steelers for a 6th-round pick. No, we're going to be exact on this show. It was a 6th-round pick, and I don't think Justin Fields deserves that type of slander, Noah, okay?
It was a bag of chips that could conditionally turn into the 48 multi-pack bag of chips.
That's true. What was the comp on that? It was a 6th or a 5th, right? Or is it a 6th or a 4th? 4th? That was it?
And I'm not sure what the contingencies are. I'm going to pull that up right now.
Please do, because by the time you have that up, I'll be able to get this out of the way. I've followed the Bears a long time. I'm not the biggest Bears fan, but the Bears is a big part of my family. My family's big Bears fans. And so I follow the Bears. I keep in touch with the Bears, and you fall for the Bears. You fall for them. They're kind of like the Cubs now. They're the lovable losers almost, I want to say. But we are doing the same thing, Noah. We are doing the same exact thing we have been doing. Damn near feels like decades now. It's unbelievable. Not only can we not hold on to a quarterback, not only can we not hold on to a head coach, we can't pick our head out of our ass. And that's where this was. Honestly, the only reason I've been sitting up here and screaming that we're going to keep Justin Fields and this is all smoke screens and stuff is because Matt Eberflus still has a job. Don't get me wrong. That team looked a lot better towards the end of.
Yeah, I mean, Eberflus didn't have much say in this Fields. This was Ryan Poles, who has done a really good job as GM.
No, absolutely.
Up to this point.
Yes, up until this point. Because my thing is, why are we keeping the head coach and bringing in a new quarterback? We've done that before. We saw where that got us, and it's never gotten us anywhere good. And so now we're just rinsing and repeating. And granted, I will say, the Bears have also had a history of just passing up on these quote-unquote generationally talented quarterbacks. You look at a Patrick Mahomes. You look at a Trevor Lawrence, who I think will, still, I think, out on him. But we've passed up so many of these guys, even last year, passing up a C.J. Stroud and what was the other guy's name? Bryce Young. Thank you. But we've passed up on those guys. And so I get it. Ryan Poles had absolutely no option. But he had a choice to keep Eberflus. Why do you keep a head coach who you already have questions about? Because he's going in on a prove-it year. He's going in on a prove-it year with a rookie quarterback. Don't get me wrong. A hell of a lot more weapons that they've had in the past, which I am, fine. Caleb Williams coming to kind of a nicer situation. The defense still has a lot of questions, though. The defense still has a lot of questions. I don't even want to hear about the offense until we get the defense figured out, because then we don't have a full team. And so let me hear your thoughts, and then I got to go to the whiteboard for this next part.
Yeah, I think, Poles is either going to look like a fucking genius, or this is going to go down as one of the, maybe not one of the worst moves ever, because Fields didn't look all that impressive. So moving on from him, I don't think you catch a ton of flack outside of the fact that Fields was a huge locker room guy. A lot of the players really wanted him to stay. And then you go and deal him for basically nothing when before free agency started, we were talking about, Fields might be able to draw a 2nd-round pick, potentially even a 1, depending on the team. And then that moved quickly down as teams elected to go the free agent route rather than trading. And then you got Fields going for a 6th-round pick, 4th conditional on playing time. So on the percentage of snaps that he takes for the Steelers, who have said there won't be a quarterback competition. So they're starting with Russ.
They're absolutely starting with Russ.
So they're going to play Russ enough of the season that they have to give up a 6th-round pick and not a 4th for Fields. And so you're talking about a 6th-round pick for Fields. And I get it. You're drafting quarterback number 1 overall. You're going to play that quarterback who you drafted number 1 overall. You're not going to sit him, especially behind, different if you had a well-seasoned veteran in there, but not behind a, 4th-year guy on his rookie deal still, who hasn't been all that impressive in the NFL.
No.
And so you had to deal Fields. if you dealt him earlier and made up your mind quicker, you probably got a second round pick instead of a sixth. And, so not a great move on that part. But if Caleb Williams ends up being even close to what people are saying his ceiling is at, then nobody's going to even care about Justin Fields in like 3 or 4 years. This is all going to be water under the bridge.
Absolutely.
And Poles is going to look like a genius for how he built up this Bears team. But the
or
flip
Poles
side of that,
Eberflus don't have a job next season.
Yeah, the flip side, Caleb Williams comes in and struggles as a rookie. Then it's like, okay, what the hell were we doing? I could have gotten 2, if not 3 first-round picks for that number 1 overall and kept Fields, and now we're at Caleb Williams, who's playing the same as Fields and less those picks,
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's like I've seen this story before, Noah. And I started thinking about the fact that it's like I've seen this before, Noah. And so this is where I'm going to the whiteboard. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Because I got some shit here, Noah.
All right. Taken to the whiteboard.
Going to the whiteboard. Give me 1 sec. Hold on. I got to zoom out. This here, Noah, is the Bears cycle. And this is the cycle that the Bears have been going through, I swear to God, since Rex Grossman left the field. Okay, remember, he somehow took us to a Super Bowl, Noah. I don't understand how that shit happens.
So did Jim McMahon. Defense. And the Bears should know from their own history, just build a really fucking good defense and just cross your fingers and pray to your lucky stars on your quarterback.
I'm with you, Noah. I'm with you. And that's kind of how the Bears should have approached this. And they had that opportunity to do that, building around a Khalil Mack and some of the other studs they had on that before we had a fire sale with that defense. And then it's really just come down to the quarterback issue, Noah. So let me show you where we're at right now. We're right up here at the top. All right, we trade the round 1 quarterback, okay? The quarterback that we previously drafted round 1, we go ahead and we trade him. Step 2, Noah, which we're on track. We're on track right now. You draft the round 1 superstar who's supposed to be generationally talented. Now, let's not forget that this is the Chicago Bears. The chances that they go with a complete wild card at number 1, like a Drake May, like a Jaden Daniels, like a JJ McCarthy, if my worst fears come to, absolute nightmares. That's what we do. We draft a round 1 quarterback, Noah.
Could happen. They did trade up to, 2 to get Trubisky?
Yeah, we did that. Yeah, the Bears absolutely did that, Noah. And then, but what comes after the round 1, Noah? What always comes after the NFL draft for every team around, Noah? You got them high hopes, baby.
The Bears are going to dominate the NFC North, right?
Oh my God. Well, especially you look at the moves they've made recently. You look at everyone they've acquired, how good that offense looks. And then you add Caleb Williams, who's already a quote unquote NFL ready quarterback. Yeah, bro. Absolutely. They're winning the Super Bowl as far as I'm concerned. Fuck the defense. You don't need a defense because we're going to score 100 points a game. Because that's what Caleb Williams did in college. And obviously, he's going to step right in from what he did in college into the NFL and do the exact same thing, because that's what every round 1 first pick quarterback has done, Noah. They have been able to start the season and start their careers off with a bang, because they're not getting drafted to the worst team in the NFL or one of the worst teams in the NFL. No, they're going to absolute superstars. Remember, the Bears don't have a defense. Noah, what comes after the high hopes? And you're a Packers fan. You should know what comes after the Bears' high hopes here. Noah, do you want to fill me in on this?
The Bears still suck.
The Bears still fucking suck, Noah. That's where we go after the high hopes. So we traded the round 1 quarterback. We drafted the round 1 quarterback. We got the high hopes. And yet somehow, Noah, we are over here and we still suck. So we go through the season and we absolutely suck. We already have a head coach who's on a prove-it year. So what do we do after that? We either don't re-sign him or we fire the head coach. We fire the head coach, guaranteeing that this round 1 superstar is going to have 2 different head coaches, 2 different offensive coordinators, 2 different coaching staffs within the first 2 years of what he's done, Noah. That's where we're going to. That's the end of next season, Noah. And then what happened? I forgot. I didn't put it in here because we're going to end up hiring some fucking no-name. So we're not going to get hyped on the coaching hire because I can't remember the last time the Bears made a flashy coaching hire that made me feel good about going to sleep and rooting for the Bears the next year. So, Noah, after we hire the new head coach and fire our old head coach, what do?
Suck some more.
We still suck, Noah. There's a song about it. You're very familiar with it. You send it to me every single time the Packers play the Bears, and it crushes me internally.
Actually, every single time the Bears lose. So
you were a little weak on it this year. Honestly. I felt like it was just when the Packers played the Bears. I feel like I only got it 2 or 3 times.
Well, the Bears won like 7 games this year, so I couldn't send it quite as much.
Fair enough. Now, Noah. All right, we've been through all of this. We traded the round 1 quarterback. We drafted the round 1 quarterback. We had high hopes. We sucked. We fired the head coach and got a new one. We still suck. We're going to end up trading away Caleb Williams in the next 3 years. That's how this whole thing's going to work out, Noah. We are going to be in the exact same spot that we were last year. We're going to be in the exact same spot we were the year before, the exact same spot when we drafted Trubisky, the exact same spot we drafted Fields. This is the life of a Bears fan, Noah. This is the visual life of a Bears fan. This is how absolutely miserable it is to root for the Bears.
Bears.
But hey, Ryan Poles, I mean, damn it, Noah. I want to believe in him. But I don't know if I can get there right now.
All going to hinge on whether Caleb Williams works out or not. I mean,
it is.
Because if it does, Poles looks like a genius, and he built a really damn good team that will be good for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, my concern is we're still here.
If Caleb Williams does not work out, Poles is probably getting fired, and Eberflus is definitely getting fired.
Yeah, so what? So you're giving him... So what? You're giving 3 years, 2 years? How long are you giving for that to work out?
I think you get 2 for sure. Now 2 shitty years, and then Poles is out. So I don't think Caleb Williams is going to be dealing with 2 coaching staffs in his first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
But if it's not working out and clicking after the second year, then it's going to be a whole new coaching staff. And the Bears love to just fuck over their quarterbacks and not give them the tools they need to succeed. And
step 5 on the chart, Noah.
So unless Caleb Williams can come in and just be God, which he's got a chance at being really good, because this is outside of Brock Purdy, this is probably the second best situation any rookie quarterback will ever step into year 1. Like Brock Purdy, a little bit better, but at least in recent memory, no rookie quarterback has stepped into a better situation than Caleb Williams or whoever the Bears decide to draft if they decide to go a different route. Like, that quarterback is going to have all the weapons at their disposal. Yeah, the defense might be a little spotty, but like the offense, you have an offensive line that was average last year that got better this offseason. You have DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, DeAndre Swift at your disposal, like Cole Kmet too. I won't forget about him.
Can't forget about Cole.
And so like you got all the weapons there. You can't ask for much more if you're a quarterback. So if that offense isn't performing, that's a problem. Now, if the Bears are a 500 team and the offense is putting up, 25 plus a game and the defense is just shit in the bed, that's a different story,
Yeah. No, I'm with you, Noah. But it's like I literally feel insane talking about the Bears getting a new quarterback again. You know what I mean?
Happens every 3 to 4.
We're on step
2.
We're on step 2. You know what I mean? It's like every leap year we get a quarterback. That's what it feels like. And it's a leap year.
Sometimes sooner than that.
That's true, but I don't think I'm that lucky. I've been asking for Kyler Murray to get traded from the Cardinals, and I haven't gotten that request yet. So,
yeah.
Again, though, if the Vikings want to trade Justin Jefferson to the Cardinals for our first overall pick, we'd be more than happy to comply with that.
I'm sure you would.
I think Justin Jefferson, I would take him for a first.
I don't think he wants to play for the Cardinals, though.
I mean, obviously not. Who does? But some other signings, Noah, in the NFL world, as Kenny Pickett leaving the Steelers. He's an Eagle now. He is potentially a Nick Foles in waiting right now. But reports coming out that essentially, Russ was signed to the Steelers. He was told he would get to compete. And
Pickett went to the Eagles or the Seahawks?
Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly, baby. And that's why I drew the Nick Foles comparison. Both quarterbacks with a good, they both got some good hair on them. Both blonde quarterbacks that can step in for that starter. And who knows, maybe take them on a Super Bowl run.
We'll see. I think the Eagles are going to have some struggles this upcoming season.
Oh, yeah. No, they're going to have a lot of issues, especially since
unless they figure out that defense. I mean, if they're hanging 31-32 in the league in defensive efficiency again, they're going to have problems.
Yeah, they're going to have some issues. But what else? There's another trade I wanted to talk about. There's still who the Vikings get.
Well, the Vikings traded with the Texans for another second-round pick.
Oh, yes, I saw that.
Or another first-round pick. So the Vikings have 2 firsts sitting at 11 and 23. Word on the street is they are going to trade up into the top 5 using those 2 first-round picks. And they are reportedly in serious talks with J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to bring up, actually. Yeah, J.J. McCarthy, they're doing a private workout with the Vikings and JJ. And so Kevin O'Connell will be there. The GM will be there.
Which leaves, as far as trade partners, I mean, I think, Bears, Washington, New England, obviously going quarterback there. So the Vikings looking at trading to either 4 or 5 with either the Cardinals or the Chargers. And I wouldn't be surprised to see them trade with the Chargers, maybe get up to 5 and take J.J. McCarthy right there at 5. I don't think the Cardinals are any threat to take a quarterback, but maybe the Vikings are feeling like they need to trade up to 4 to get him. And this is a trade that probably won't happen until draft night.
Yeah.
Because they're going to wait and see which quarterbacks go 1, 2, 3. And if it's J.J. McCarthy or somebody else that they're really wanting, which it could be one of the guys who's expected to go top 3, and they're waiting to see if he falls. They're waiting to see maybe if that quarterback they really want falls out of the top 3, and then they're going to trade up. Because I think you don't have to trade into the top 5 to get J.J. McCarthy.
No.
Like, he's going to go way before he should, but I think we're talking like maybe 9, 10, 11 is where you would only need to trade up to. And then you probably don't trade your 11th and your 23rd pick to move up 2 spots.
Not at that point. Yeah, not at that point. And like you mentioned, the Cardinals are going wide receiver. They're going with Marvin Harrison Jr. there at 4, unless the Vikings really think that JJ might go there within the top 5, and they're like, "Hey, we'll give you." I would take the 23 and JJ,
Justin Jefferson.
I would need JJ though.
Although with the trade value that they're slapping on Justin Jefferson, at a 1-for-1 that pick plus for Justin Jefferson seems like that would be market value. And then if you're doing that, I don't know if he's worth a 4th, maybe not. If you're the Cardinals, because honestly, only one year left on his deal, so he could get traded to the Cardinals and say, "Yeah, I don't want to sign a long-term contract. I'll play 1 season and then I'm going free agent."
Which again, that just makes it more sense for the Chargers to be their trade partner.
But the Chargers don't have the cap space.
True as well.
They have no wide receiver room. They elected to, out of the 4 guys, they have 4 out of the top 10 cap hits in the NFL. 4 out of the top 10 non-quarterback cap hits, I think. And they let Mike Williams go. They traded Keenan Allen. So they got some space to play with, but I don't know if it's enough to take on Justin Jefferson's contract. Maybe if you do some restructuring there. But
I don't think they would. I don't think they take JJ.
Chargers are in a bad position right now.
Yeah, no, I don't think Justin Jefferson goes to the Chargers. I'm saying for a trade partner in the draft, the Chargers makes most sense then.
Yeah, potentially.
Because the Cardinals are we need a wide receiver. We need a wide receiver 1.
Yeah, and Justin Jefferson could be that, but I would worry if I'm the Cardinals that he's not going to want to.
And I don't think you would. And that's why I'm kind of like, well, yeah, now let's just stay there at 4, get Marvin Harrison Jr. Let's not listen to any of this bullshit coming out from these quote unquote draft experts who are like, well, Marvin Harrison, who was it? Who was the dumbass I was reading today? Was it Chris Sims? I think I was on Twitter.
I saw somebody had both of the LSU receivers ranked higher than Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, here it is. Chris Sims says Marvin Harrison Jr. ranked as only the third wide receiver in the draft class this year. He's got so much good in his game. He's NFL ready and will be a star. Catches the ball and gets upfield right away at an elite level. Would have been number one last year. Just don't think he's as explosive or gets separation in the same way as Neighbors and Thomas do, which
I do think there might be some legs to stand on if you're talking about Malik Neighbors being the best receiver in this draft. And that might be a hot take. If you want to come at me for it, do whatever you want. But I would entertain the argument that Malik Neighbors might be better than Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't think Marvin Harrison Jr. is any worse than the second best wide receiver in this draft, but I do think I would give Neighbors a slight edge.
Who would you draft, though?
I would probably take Neighbors if I'm a GM.
Really?
I would take Neighbors over Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't think Marvin Harrison Jr. is a top 5 pick. And a lot of that comes down to team need, right? Like if you're a team that's got a very solid offensive lineman, because there's some very, very good offensive linemen in this draft, quarterbacks are going to fly off the board early just because of team needs.
True.
And so if you're a team who's picking in the top 10 and you want an offensive lineman, this is a perfect draft for you to just sit right there in that 5 to 10 range, or 6 to 10 range rather, and just grab some really damn good offensive linemen, as well as getting some really nice receivers that are available.
Yeah.
Even the mid to late first round, there's going to be some really good receivers still available on this board. And we're going to see some guys too go in the later rounds that are going to be absolute steals, like Jacob Cowing out of Arizona, who might be a 4th or a 5th round pick.
Yeah, I think he'll be solid.
Like that's an absolute fucking steal to get Cowing as a 4th or a 5th rounder. But there's just so many receivers in this draft that are probably all going to be really good. Obviously, a couple of them are not, a couple of them are going to be flops. That's what always happens. But it's a very good offensive line and a very good wide receiver draft.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And I think you're gonna see guys go a lot later than they would have in any other draft.
Yeah, 100%, which I think works out great. Works out great for us. I mean, I still would take Marvin. I would still take him and just not listen to this noise. Some other news coming out of this free agency period. Alexander Mattison signing with the Raiders, per sources from Tom Pelissero. I mean,
he gonna be their running back 1 then?
He's got to be, right? With Josh Jacobs out of there. Who the hell else do they have on the chart?
It's got to be Madison at number 1, and I'm sure he didn't get more than $2-3 million a year.
I haven't seen his compensation yet. You got Zamir White. They got Zamir White right now listed as the number 1 on ESPN.
Yeah, that might be interesting. I don't know. Like, I wouldn't have a lot of faith in either of those guys to be the main workhorse back, but Madison was really good, and then last year, I don't know what happened, but he just wasn't getting it done, and that
just like the Vikings kind of fell off a cliff.
Yeah, that might just be the Vikings offensive line and play calling that was the issue there, because he was really good prior to last year.
Oh, he was great last year. He was great.
They got rid of Delvin because they thought Madison was going to be able to step in and pick up most of, if not that full amount of production, and then it was just bad for any running back that went, was running there. So,
and then the 49ers in the news today for a couple of reasons. First off, signing quarterback Josh Dobbs, the Pastronaut, to a 1-year deal to back up Purdy there. So Josh Dobbs is going to maybe go on a Super Bowl run here. That's fun. And then
no, I think the Niners missed their window.
I do too. It's going to get very difficult very soon for them.
Yeah, well, especially because you had a number of NFC teams get better this offseason.
Oh, absolutely.
And this past year was the year to do it if they were going to. They were head and shoulders above every other NFC team.
Yeah.
And couldn't get it done. And I don't see them. I think they're going to have a much tougher route to even get to the Super Bowl going forward.
Oh, yeah.
So if they were going to do it, this year, the last 3 to 4 years, that was their window. And I think they're on the tail end of their window, and their window might even be closed. Like,
whose window is more closed, the 49ers or the Bills? I'm saying Bills because I think Stephon Diggs is out of there. He's doing his cryptic shit again. That is not a good locker room.
Yeah, I don't like the situation for. I mean, the Niners are fine right now. They're going to be a damn good team. They're going to easily win the NFC West. Yeah. But it's going to be once they get to the playoffs. I think they're going to have a very tough route to get to the Super Bowl. The Bills, something's just not working there, and they're going to not have to completely go clean slate. But the Bills they're going to need some changes. They're going to need a couple of years. I think the Bills could bounce back a lot quicker than the Niners are going to be able to. But I don't like either of them in the next 2 seasons to contest for a Super Bowl. So
no. And the 49ers also in the news. This is just funny to me. The 49ers are being stripped of a 2025 5th-round pick, and their 2024 4th-round pick at number 131 is being moved to the end of the 4th round because of a payroll accounting error. I have not had an opportunity to dive deeper into what's happening or what the exact error was, but that's awesome. Like you didn't tamper. No, you didn't tamper. You didn't cheat. No deflategate or anything like that. Someone just didn't carry the decimal.
Yeah, your accountant fucked up.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, also, have you seen the Texans' new uniforms?
No.
Or, well, they dropped a sneak peek of them. I'll pull them up. They're dropping the rest of them in April. But, I mean...
Okay.
They look kind of dope. I'm fine with them.
Yeah. I like it. Yeah.
A lot. Tank Dell and Nico Collins pictured. Their owner released the pictures on Reddit, of all things.
Interesting.
In Texans Reddit, and then tweeted it out. So that was funny. But yeah, that's kind of all I got in the NFL. Noah, anything else?
Nothing new that we haven't covered.
No, nothing new we haven't covered. We got some college basketball to talk about. I know that. You know that. Do you mind if we take a quick break just so I can go grab a beer?
All good.
All right. We will be right back with our... I love it. I love this time of the year because I get to say dumb words like this. For our bracketology, Noah, it's time for us to break down the bracket, get into the science of it because we're bracketologists, okay? I heard someone... That was literally someone's title on one of these ESPN shows today. He was like, we'll bring on our bracketologist, fucking this guy. And it's like, really?
Joe Lenardi. Fucking
no,
idiot.
I think it might have been Jay Bilas.
Oh, gross.
But he also doesn't think court storming's cool because, well, I don't think he could storm a court anymore, but that's a whole other issue.
Yeah. Well, we also hate him as Arizona fans. Not as much as Seth Greenberg, but you know,
Seth Greenberg can go.
Jay's also a piece of shit, so
yeah, they all suck. Anyway, we'll be right back to break down March Madness and the bracket. And so yeah, see y'all in a moment. Check. Good to go.
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. And we are back. What's up, D-Gens? Again, just need to grab a beer. Just need to refresh it up. Before we get to college basketball, I do want to show you this. I don't know if you saw this over the weekend, but probably the greatest jersey swap of all shots. Time. Hold on. Let me get pulled up. So just wait for it.
Oh, I did see this. Yeah.
I just love it. Like, they saw an opportunity and they absolutely took it. That's classic. That's just classic, Noah. But it's March, dude. It's March. March Madness going on. I mean, the brackets are out, Noah. I do think before we get for submission, our joint submission for the bracket challenge, and then. But yeah, I mean, where do you want to start? Do you want to start with some of these harder matchups that we're having issues with? Do you want to start with the quote unquote cakewalks we think we're going to have, or where do you want to go with this?
Well, I think let's start at the top. I kind of want to go team by team as far as we're going to put them, and then move on to the next team, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Should I pull up our bracket? Should we just work off of that?
Yep, we'll do it.
All right, give me a sec. Let me make sure I got that loaded up. All right.
And I'm thinking we just start with like the floor for each team, starting with UConn, obviously number 1 overall seed.
Yep, give me 1 second. Can we see that? No, we can't see that at all. Can we see it now? We can see that now.
Yeah, we can.
There we go. Starting with UConn?
Yeah.
All right. I mean, Noah, you're talking about the ex-national champion. You're talking about the reigning national champion, a team that doesn't appear to slow down and doesn't appear to be stopping. I mean,
yep, and a team that has been picked as a champion in I think close to like 36% of brackets so far that have been submitted.
I think that's the number, yeah. Which, I mean, a little chalky for my taste, but I mean, makes sense. I mean, who else realistically, you look at a lot of these other 1 seeds, and we're going to talk about the floor and the ceiling, but UConn ceiling and floor, I mean, you talk about a floor of a Sweet 16 and then ultimate being the mountaintop, right?
Yep. So I was thinking, let's go ahead and just advance UConn to the Sweet 16. They're not losing to Stetson. They're not losing to FAU. They're not losing to Northwestern. So
I'm good with that.
That's fine. And then we come to FAU Northwestern, which has been one of the toughest games for me to pick here.
Yeah, it's been a rough
one. The Big Ten always seems to not show up in March. And then you got FAU, who I don't think even deserve to be in the field of 68. Nonetheless have an 8 seed, which is absolutely ridiculous. Dusty May's already focusing on whatever his job is going to be next year, probably Louisville or something of the likes. I do like Northwestern. Boo Buie has been around for a long time. He knows what he's doing. And for that reason, I think I've come to the conclusion that I like Northwestern to win this. I don't know where your head's at on that, AJ, but I just really don't think FAU even deserves to be here, that they don't belong here. And I think Northwestern's going to show that. No,
and I mean, Noah, you and I have talked about how the fall of FAU, especially back down the last back of that month there, it was just a rough go for them. We were like, they can only lose 3 more games. Then they lost those 2 games really quickly. And we're like, well, let's see what they do. But hey, they still make it in here. Again, I think it's off of name value alone. But
the sad thing is it's based on what they did last year, which
absolutely.
It sucks because I thought USF should have gotten
I can't believe they didn't get in. You talk about a snub.
I think they should have gotten an at-large bid. They were better than FAU the entire season. Same conference, 1 more games. Both teams losing in the semifinals of that conference tournament. But USF lost to UAB and FAU lost to Temple. That was bad. I already was like, this is a bubble team at best. And then they lost to Temple in their conference tournament. And I was like, that should be it. They should be out. And I knew in my heart they were going to be in because of what happened last year. But you have 4 quad 3 and quad 4 losses and only 2 quad 1 wins. Just get out of here. So I think realistically, I think this is going to be a close, tough game. But out of hate, I am 100% on Northwestern to win this.
And it's not out of hate for me, though. Like, that's the thing. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't think FAU belongs here and stuff, but we're still talking about any given game, one single elimination. You start fucking up and you start fucking around, you're going to find out real quickly. But I still think Northwestern is going to take this one. I think two teams, Northwestern has played more consistent that I'd feel comfortable putting my money behind them and doing all that, you know?
Yeah, and I had Northwestern to win the Big Ten tournament, obviously losing to Wisconsin, but that can happen. You know, FAU, John L. Davis is so damn good, but outside of John L. Davis, like he has to be putting up 30.7 assist games for FAU to continue on through this tournament, and I just don't see him stringing together enough of those. Like, maybe he gets one against Northwestern, but I don't think they have a chance against UConn. So I'm not going to sweat this pick too much. I'm just going with Northwestern, you know?
I couldn't agree with you more. UAB, San Diego State here. I'm going to start this one off, Noah, because usually, like, San Diego State is one of my teams. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean when I say one of my teams. One of the teams that I see. And if they're playing, there's a very strong chance I'm betting on them because I like them. I like what they've done for me. That's not the case with this San Diego State team this year. This is not, in my opinion, not as strong of a San Diego State team that I would like going into a tournament. I mean, I still think playing very good basketball, but just not as dangerous as I usually like them going into the tournament. Now, you talk about a dangerous team. You talk about a team with some firepower behind it. You talk about a team that is, getting hot at the right time.
Are you just saying that because of their mascot?
No, honest to God. Puns, like, don't get me wrong, puns intended and everything, but like, I still really like this UAB team. And honestly, I'm feeling UAB over San Diego State here. I don't think San Diego State's got enough in the tank, and they haven't shown me that they can keep up with the scoring of a team like UAB.
I'm not on the same page as you there. I think UAB's relatively weak as a 12 seed, a team that wasn't even going to have a chance at being close to the tournament without winning and getting lucky that they got to play Temple in their conference tournament.
But it's still a team that's getting hot. It's still a team that got hot at the right time, playing their best basketball going into March.
San Diego State's pretty hot too. I mean, they did lose to New Mexico, and we'll get to them, but God, I can't believe that New Mexico was going to get left out of the tournament if they didn't win this championship. That's ridiculous. We'll get to that later, but I don't really think UAB has much of a chance here. However, given the way I'm picking the next round, if you want to put UAB for our bracket here, go ahead.
I like UAB a lot. Honestly, and again, I'm only on version 2 of my bracket, but both versions I've got UAB. I like the numbers behind them. I like the matchup against San Diego State. And I think, again, getting hot at the right time is a big thing in March.
That's fine. I'll concede that one for our joint bracket.
I appreciate you, Noah.
And the reason I will concede that one is because I think Auburn does not have a fucking chance at losing to Yale.
No.
And I think Auburn's going to cruise past UAB or San Diego State.
Couldn't agree more.
I am so sure of Auburn as a 4 seed. I think they should have gotten a 3 seed. So I'm surprised that they're on the 4 line. They did lose some games this year, but that's why I think they were a 3 and not a 2. I don't think Auburn's a 4 seed. They are way better than that. I don't think they're going to have any problem with Yale, who got lucky that Princeton lost before they had to play them in their tournament, and then barely skated past Brown.
Yeah.
So just go ahead and advance Auburn to the Sweet 16.
I got them.
Like, out of the 4 teams there, San Diego State, UAB, Auburn, and Yale, I am very confident in Auburn to make the Sweet 16.
Yeah, no, all you said and more. I'm liking this Auburn team a lot against the bracket that they're up against. And then I think that we'll talk about the UConn matchup. In a moment. Keeping it moving, Noah, BYU, Duquesne, and the Dukes.
Tough one.
Yeah, right?
And the reason it's tough, I think Duquesne's an 11 or 12 point dog going into this one. BYU, when they're shooting the 3-ball well, a really, really fucking dangerous team.
Yeah.
They rely so heavily on the 3, though. When those 3s aren't going in, they get fucking clapped. They get clapped. So, Duquesne's not a particularly great defensive team. They're not a particularly great offensive team. They went on a nice run to win the A-10 and punch their ticket. But this game's a coin flip for me because it's how is BYU going to shoot the ball?
I couldn't tell you.
How are they going to shoot the ball? And it's a coin flip for me for that reason. And, I don't see either of these teams advancing to the Sweet 16. So I'm leaning Duquesne. I don't know where your head's at on that one. And I have made a few brackets now, and some I have picked BYU, some I've picked. So I really feel like this is a coin flip game, and it depends on how BYU is going to shoot it.
And that's been my thing, is that I'm the same way. I'm on version 2 of my bracket. I got BYU in one, Duquesne in another. And the reason I got BYU in my second bracket was because I came down to the fact I trust a team that shoots better more often than a team who's here based off pure luck. And I think it's to the point where even if BYU isn't making the 3 ball, that they've got enough mid-range and they can drive in there on this Duquesne team and they'll be able to recover that way. I don't think they'll make it far, but that's why I'm kind of sitting on BYU right now. I conceded the last one though, so I'll concede this one because like you said, it's an absolute coin flip at some point.
I don't know. I'm okay with conceding this one too, because I do have some picks that I think we're going to disagree on that I'm going to want to drive hard on. And this one is not one that I care that much. BYU Duquesne.
An easy negotiation tactic. You're going to give me some of the ones you don't care about, so you can go in on the ones you do care.
Oh well, you're okay. You're okay conceding this one too. Let's go random number generator.
Okay, let me pull that up. Hold on.
BYU 1, Duquesne 2. Who do we got?
Duquesne. Okay, odd or even? How about that?
Yeah, perfect. Duquesne even, BYU odd.
All right, hold on. Let me share the screen so everyone knows this is legit. I don't know what the fuck is going on with my computer.
Close enough. We can see.
There we go. All right.
BYU it is. Oh, nope, you didn't click it. BYU it is.
There we go. All right. Illinois, Morehead State, 3-14, Noah. I think we're both on the same side here.
I think we're going to be on the same page here, and that is on the page of Morehead State.
Yes, sir.
Illinois has been very problematic on the defensive side of the ball. Hang on, I got to pull one thing up here just to make sure that I'm not talking out of my ass.
Well, you're not. They definitely are a liability on defense. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
Morehead State. Where are you?
You on Ken Palm?
Yep. I was looking specifically for pace of play, tempo. That's what we want. Come on. There we go. And because this is going to be a important thing. Morehead State tempo 335th in the country. And that's important because when March rolls around and you have a go team against a slow team, the slow team wins more than 80% of the time, which is also part of what scares the shit out of me for Arizona is we are definitely a go team. Illinois, definitely a go team. It's going to depend. Terrence Shannon Jr. could go off and absolutely take control of this game, but I think Morehead's going to slow the pace and really cause Illinois fits. Yeah. Illinois is not very defensively sound, so Morehead State's going to have opportunities to make baskets, and I think they're going to fuck with the Illinois offense enough to go ahead and take this W.
Yes, I'm right. Everything you said, Noah. That is exactly my thought process here. I love it. Morehead State there against BYU. We like it. I'm interested on your thoughts on this one, Noah. I'm very interested. Washington State and Drake. How are you feeling about this one?
Coin flip. This is a weird matchup. If Washington State can shut down Tucker DeVries, they're going to win this game easily. Like this is one that I say it's a coin flip, but I don't think the final score is going to be close. Either Washington State's winning by like 10 plus or Drake's winning by 10 plus. And it's going to depend on who can control the game here. If Tucker DeVries is able to do what he wants to do, and he's able to play his game, Drake's going to be A-okay, and they're going to get plenty of points. I could see DeVries going off for 30 plus in this one. But Washington State, important to note that Washington State is one of the tallest and biggest teams, if not the tallest and biggest team in the country. They have size that Drake has not dealt with. Their center, Darnell Brody, is a kind of a whiny little bitch and not that talented. He was a 4-star, went to Seton Hall, transferred after 1 year because he wasn't getting playing time because he's not that good. And so, oddly enough, Drake's got 2 4-star recruits in their starting 5. Yes, Drake out of Des Moines, Iowa. But I think Washington State's going to slow the game down enough, and they're going to play good defense, have a good defensive plan for DeVries. And I don't think Drake's got that second guy who can come in and score the points needed. So I'm on Washington State in this one, but I'm waffling a little back and forth. I do think whoever wins this game is going to win it by 10 plus, though.
Yeah, I mean...
And it really doesn't matter because I don't think either team stands a chance against Iowa State in the second round.
Well, no, absolutely not. We can go ahead and move Iowa State to the Sweet 16. Iowa
State, who's a top 4 or 5 team in the country, maybe got snubbed a little for a 1 seed, and they got the 8th overall seed there, which interesting with that, but the committee's a sham, so that's fine.
It's such a joke. The committee is such a joke, but here we are making a bracket, Noah. I'll go Washington State. Like you said, Noah, I just see too many opportunities with Drake to where they can go in, get a couple of really good runs under their belt that Washington State can't come back from.
I just ultimately,
that height, like you said, the height is a big.
I ultimately think Washington State's going to slow the game down enough. They're going to be big and tall enough that they're going to cause Drake too many problems. And I think Drake's a very good team. I think if they got a different matchup, we'd be maybe talking about them potentially going as far as a Sweet 16. But I think they're going to struggle against Washington State, and I don't like them against Iowa State, even if they do win.
No.
If we want to pop right back up, though, and just fill out our Sweet 16 for this quadrant, AJ.
Sure, dude.
I'd like Morehead State to cause BYU some fits as well.
I do too. I really like Morehead State.
They play so damn slow that BYU is going to have limited opportunities. So BYU is really going to have to shoot the lights out even more so against Morehead State than against Duquesne. And I like Morehead as a 14 seed moving on to the Sweet 16.
No, I couldn't agree with you more. Could not agree with you more. This Morehead State team, I think, is, and they're not one of the quote unquote popular underdogs you've been hearing talk about lately. Lots been said about McNeese, a lot's been said about NC State, Vermont, and
they are another team though that dominated their conference the whole regular season. And you look at Morehead State, and they have 8 losses, but you look at their wins. I mean, a lot of those were by 10, 15, 20 points against conference opponents. So they were
good wins. Yeah, you talk about good wins.
They were not having close calls, and they lost 8 games. But, this is a team that once conference play started, they dominated their conference. They won their tournament. You like to see that.
You do. You love it. You love it. I guess first we should determine who's winning first, Howard or Wagner.
I would err on Howard.
I would too.
If I had to guess, it won't matter. North Carolina's going to clap whoever they play.
Yeah, North Carolina. Yeah,
I don't think North Carolina's at all susceptible to a first round loss. So I'm fine moving them to the second round without even needing to discuss it or talk about it.
There's another first round number 1 seed that we'll talk about in a little bit that may be susceptible to a first round exit. I don't know why we're getting this game, Noah.
I don't know, but it's a tough one.
And I don't think I'm just mad.
I would have liked to see this as a first 4 play-in game.
Yes.
Not as an 8-9.
Yeah.
Not as an 8-9. I think this would have done a lot better as a first 4 play-in game.
Yeah.
2 teams that I think Mississippi State did enough with blowing out Tennessee to punch their ticket. I don't think Michigan State did enough to be in this field, but they're Michigan State, so they got in regardless.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is a tough one. Spread right now on this game is hanging at 1.5 in favor of Michigan State,
which I find wild. I mean, you're going to get public money all over Michigan State because public loves Michigan State in March.
I think I like Mississippi State, but I don't, it's weird. Every year, the 8-9 matchups are either really, really difficult to pick or really blatantly obvious. Yeah. And somehow the public still ends up 50-50 on them, even if they're blatantly obvious. I'm leaning Mississippi State, but this is a tough one to pick.
But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because this team is just playing for the right to get clapped by North Carolina.
Potentially. I mean, I
don't like any of these matchups for these teams against North Carolina, for Mississippi State or Michigan State.
I don't have a ton of a trust factor in North Carolina against tougher teams. They do really well against lesser teams, so that's why I don't see them having any problem against Howard or Wagner. But Mississippi, North Carolina's easy run ends in the second round here.
Yes. No, absolutely.
And they might still win the second round game against either of these teams by 7 or 10 points, but it's not going to be a blowout by any means. Like I said, I'm leaning Mississippi State. Looks like you're on kind of the same page there.
Yeah, again, one of those games. I have two versions of the bracket. One of them I have Mississippi State, one of them I have Michigan State, and I have no real conviction about it either way right now. And it's a tough one. It's a tough one.
Well, let's make it even.
I want to hear this one. I want to hear your thoughts, Noah.
Oh God, let's make it even tougher here.
Shit. St. Mary's GCU 12-5.
Yeah. St. Mary's and Gonzaga both got overseeded.
Yes.
Both of them both were projected 6s, both got 5s. I thought both could have been a 6, 7, 8, somewhere in that range. Especially after St. Mary's winning, losing the last game of the season against Gonzaga, but then winning the conference.
Yeah, that'll get you.
I think I would have put St. Mary's as a 6 and Gonzaga as a 7 personally, but they both got 5s. That's what the committee felt. GCU is a really fucking good team.
They're good.
And this is why it's so hard for me, because GCU, this is a team that could go and fuck around and make a deep tournament run.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And this is a team that you take away last season has been good consistently in college basketball.
Well, this is third time in the last 4 years making the tournament for GCU. They got a really good program there, and I think I like the upset here, but I feel
no, don't do it. Don't do it. You were on the right track, brother.
I feel like St. Mary's might win this.
I love it, dude. No, dude, I love this matchup for GCU.
GCU likes to play fast. They got a lot of really good shooters, and St. Mary's plays really fucking slow, and they play hard defense. And so I'm kind of leaning St. Mary's, but this is one that I've picked different versions of my bracket. Because I've got GCU going as far as an Elite Eight, but I've also got them losing in the first round. Like the gap between floor and ceiling for GCU is just so high, so large, that it's a really tough pick to make, because GCU does have the stuff to make a deep run, but so does St. Mary's, and this is going to be a battle of heavyweights here.
Yeah, so here's my thought process behind it, because you're absolutely right with the fact that St. Mary's plays so much slower than a Grand Canyon. But the way Grand Canyon shoots the ball, their shot selection and everything like that, that's what I think they're just going to outpace them. So, yes, the St. Mary's is going to slow the game down to what they want to play. But I think the shot selection by GCU has been so nice over the season, that's going to continue into March, that they're just going to outpace them with how many shots they make. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, could be. The part that makes this even harder for this pick is I think whoever wins this game is advancing to the Sweet 16. So
I agree.
GCU, by the way, looking at metrics, good, not great on the offensive end, good, not great on the defensive end. St. Mary's great defensively, good offensively. So
I want to lay my sword on Grand Canyon. I kind of am there.
I expect St. Mary's to win this, but I'm also saying don't count GCU out. And I think if they get past St. Mary's, their next game or two are going to be easier than the first one. So for this bracket purpose, AJ, I'll be okay with GCU here.
I like him a lot, dude. I like him a lot. I think we're going to agree on this next game, though.
Yes. Much like Illinois, Alabama. Yeah. Actually, Alabama's defense is even more suspect than Illinois. I think they're outside of the top 200 in defensive efficiency. They're a really good offensive team. But I don't think Charleston's that great necessarily, but no. I don't know how the fuck Alabama's a 4 seed, what they're doing there. And they will lose at some point in the tournament, which again is a big factor to how I'm picking these, right? Like I don't see Alabama making a deep tournament run, so I have no problem. I have no problem picking this upset in the first round.
Excuse me.
Because if they win this game, they're not winning the next game, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and not to mention the fact that Charleston's good.
Yes. Yeah, another team who kind of dominated their conference, won their conference tournament as well. Charleston, not a great offensive team. Actually, decent offensive team, not a good defensive team. Plays a fast tempo. Alabama plays a fast tempo. Alabama's worse on defense, better on offense, but I think we're going to see a high-scoring battle in this one. And
definitely give me the over. It's going to be hanging at like 150. I'll take the over there.
I think the over's hanging at 155 in this one. 155 and
bastards always add an extra 5 points. You don't need to add 155 just because you don't know what to do with the total.
Which I think it still might hit. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm riding Charleston.
I like Charleston a lot here. I do not trust this Alabama team whatsoever.
And that'll be one of the most popular upset picks in the brackets.
I agree.
Is going to be Charleston. Charleston and JMU, I think, are going to be the two biggest
favorites
upset picks that are higher than like a 10 or an 11 seed.
Yeah. No, I'm with you there.
I'm going to have a lot of people on McNeese and Samford as well, but I think Charleston and James Madison at the end of the day are going to be the two biggest upset picks.
Yeah.
Popularity-wise.
Which always scares me. But we'll see how the betting public looks at that. Clemson, New Mexico, Noah. I mean, I'll start on this one. I don't trust Clemson. I don't trust Clemson at all. I trust New Mexico a hell of a lot more than I trust Clemson.
New Mexico's favored by 2. Well, they're favored by 2.5.
Oh, are they really? I've not taken a look at lines yet, so I'm not. I'm doing that tomorrow.
Yeah, I can't believe how underseeded the Mountain West got. Like they got the teams into the tournament, but they got no love with the seeding and
no love whatsoever.
It kind of pisses me off as an Arizona fan. Anybody with like a 2 or a 3 seed and having to fucking go through these Mountain West teams, it's just
it's not fun.
It's awful. But yeah, give me New Mexico. I think a lot of the public's probably going to be on New Mexico on this, and rightfully so.
Absolutely. Baylor, Colgate. I like Baylor.
Yeah, Baylor will win this one. I don't think they're at jeopardy of losing to Colgate. No. Baylor's they're an interesting team because I think their floor and their ceiling are pretty close to each other. I think you know what you're getting with Baylor. I don't think they're national championship caliber, but yeah, they can make a run, especially with the weaker path that they got gifted by the committee here.
Yeah, seriously.
And I hate that I'm saying that because that does include Arizona in this.
But Also true.
Yeah. And then, I think Baylor, New Mexico, that's going to be a really tight game.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a really tight game. I think, did we move past on the other two in this quad?
Not yet. We still have Dayton, Nevada.
Okay. I think Nevada clears this one super easy.
Yeah.
Big fan of the Mountain West, and I think
don't
they're
like
going
Dayton at all here.
I think they're going to show up and show out. Dayton has 0 quad 1 wins, 0 wins over the tournament field. They played a weak ass fucking schedule, and they got rewarded with a 7 seed. They're going to flop. Dayton's not doing jack shit, and they also were one of those teams that kind of backpedaled into the tournament. They lost a lot of games late. Not worried about that.
No, not at all. Arizona, Long Beach, Noah. I mean,
this one's pretty easy to me.
Yeah. Princeton felt easy too.
Which is, this is different. This is funny because this is one of the most popular money line upset picks. It's a 20.5 point spread, and rightfully so.
Yes. And
I'm not saying Arizona's going to be some like magical team here. I do.
No.
Stay tuned. I'll pick us to lose here pretty soon. You look at metrics. Long Beach State is the 3rd worst team in this tournament bracket. Yes, that's right. I know they're a 15, so they're not supposed to be great. But out of the 6 teams that got 16 seeds, Long Beach State's only better than 2 of them. And they're on this nice little Cinderella run after telling their coach he was going to be fired. And then he stayed with the team, and then they win their tournament and make it into the March Madness bracket. I don't care. Arizona's blowing the brakes off of them.
Yeah.
It's like, and that's not a toot to Arizona's horn.
I don't think so either.
Long Beach State's just bad.
Yes.
And they won 3 games in a row. Congratulations. The buck stops here.
Yes. Absolutely does. Let's go to the other side of the bracket. No, let's start from the bottom up. St. Peter's, Tennessee.
I mean, I don't even need to worry about that. St. Peter's, great job 2 years ago, but brand new roster, new coach, everything's different. It's the only thing that's the same as the mascot and the school name.
Yep, absolutely. You got Virginia or Colorado State in this one?
Colorado State.
Yeah, what the fuck is Virginia even doing on the bubble?
And this is what pains me. Like, Indiana State could have been there.
Yep.
That would have been a great place for Indiana State. And instead, we got Virginia, who absolutely sucked wind this year. And Texas, not much better. So I'm going Colorado State over Virginia, Colorado State over Texas.
Yes.
I don't think Tennessee is going to have a problem with any of those 3 teams that they play.
Neither do I. They'll move through that. Akron, Creighton.
I was high on Akron a month or so ago. They absolutely backpedaled into this tournament. Got lucky with a lot of the other top teams in the MAC not having to face them in the conference tournament. If they kept the momentum they had going on earlier in the season, they might have been a 12 seed, but they're a 14, and rightfully so. I'm not super high on Creighton, but there's no way in hell I'm picking Akron to win a game.
No shot. No, this is Creighton all the way. Gordon Bombay in the chat. What's up, bub?
Gordon.
He'll be on the show coming up this Friday. That's my buddy Coop. He'll be joining me Friday for some college basketball breakdown. Can't wait for that. For our all-day live stream, first tip to the last basket. And that'll include this South Carolina-Oregon game, Noah.
This is one of the toughest.
Yeah.
This is one of the, we talked about FAU and Northwestern. We talked about San Diego State, GCU, which is a really tough game to pick. Mississippi State, Michigan State. And this is right there up with those. This is a hard one for me, too, because I could see the winner of this game going on a deep run.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't know who the fuck's going to win this game.
No.
Oregon's playing really good basketball right now. South Carolina didn't end the season super strong, but they really proved themselves during the season in SEC play. And, oh, man, AJ, what do you got on this? Because this is a really, really tough one for me.
See, it's not a tough one for me, if we're going to be completely honest, Noah. I don't trust this Oregon team. I don't trust Oregon as far as I can throw an actual duck, which I do think is about 20 yards. I think I get 20 yards out of a duck, but I don't trust them. I don't trust them at all. And yes, as you mentioned, they played very good baseball. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Highlight. They've been playing very good basketball down the back stretch here, and yes, they won the Pac-12 and everything, but that's not enough for me. That's not enough for me with what they went through in the Pac and everything. So I would take South Carolina here. I think South Carolina is going to,
I'm okay with that.
I think, duck hunting season, something
I'm okay
like
with that.
All right. KU, Samford, Noah, as we were talking about, Samford, probably one of the more favorable matchups here. Gordon Bombay agrees with us. Screw Oregon. Thank you, Gordon. But I mean, KU maybe getting their guys back. Should be getting their guys back.
They're banged up though. They're banged up.
Yeah,
they're banged up. And here's my thing: fully healthy KU. I'm probably riding them on this, but I have been big on Samford all season. I love what they're doing. They're playing really good ball. And I think KU's banged up, two best players, McCullough and Dickinson. How are they doing? We don't know. They got an extra couple of days of rest by getting clapped by Cincinnati in the second round of the Big 12 tournament. But I think team chemistry, I like what they're doing. I like Samford. And Kansas has been lacking that team chemistry all season. And maybe I'm, asking for trouble, digging my own grave, picking against KU in the first round. But, every now and then you see a Duke or Kansas or North Carolina lose in the first round. And I think this is going to be one of those years. I'm on Samford.
I mean, I get where you're coming from. I get where you're coming from, Noah. This KU team has been so disappointing this season. And I don't think there's a better word for it except disappointing. And Samford, as you mentioned, they've been rocking and rolling, but it worries me how much everybody is talking about Samford. You know what I mean? It feels like everyone is looking over KU.
Again, the question mark is Kansas healthy? If they are, how healthy are they? I mean, you saw what Cincinnati did to them when they were missing McCullough and Dickinson. They got absolutely plowed by Cincinnati, who's okay, but like not that great of a team. And so if those guys are each, I assume they'll both be playing, but if they're each only 70, 80%, like
I know.
Now, if they're each 100%, I'm picking KU. Even as much as I love Samford this season, I'm picking KU, but I don't know how the health of this Kansas team is. And especially looking at a deep tournament run, if they're not fully healthy going in, they might get, less healthy as they go on. They might get more healthy. You never know. They're just too much of a question mark for me. And I can't trust Kansas to make a deep run. And I'm okay picking them to lose in the first round. Because spoiler alert, I got a different team moving on to the Sweet 16 anyways.
I do too. It doesn't even matter. I'll go along with Samford. Again, it's just very concerning how the public has never heard of Samford before this weekend, and then now everybody is on Samford. Just scares me a little bit. Gonzaga McNeese. No, I don't think we need to have a long conversation about this one.
No, we don't. Will Wade and his revenge tour. If you're not familiar with Will Wade and what happened at LSU, go look it up. How he got fired from LSU after same investigation that Arizona was a part of, as well as Oklahoma State and some other teams. But Will Wade on his revenge tour, he's going to get a Power 5 job after this season.
Oh, yeah.
He'll be back. And what he's done with McNeese, he is having a hell of a season. They have played a really weak schedule, but they're 31-3, so I don't even want to hear that shit.
So question.
Gonzaga's overseeded.
Yes.
This is, I know, looking on the internet, everyone's like, oh yeah, how many times have you heard McNeese is locked up at Gonzaga this year? I'm like, shut the hell up, because Gonzaga's overseeded and McNeese is a really good team with a coach who's got experience. in Will Wade, and Will Wade's going to take this team deep.
And so we're feeling Sweet 16 deep, right?
Oh, we are feeling Sweet 16 deep.
Just making sure. Now, no, this game is the one I've probably been having the most trouble with. Utah State TCU. I want to hear your thoughts on it.
I think it's a given. I don't even think this is a think about it. This is one of those 8-9 matchups. I am so confident on Utah State.
Yeah.
I am so confident on Utah State. As much of a fan of the Big 12 and how tough they are, I think the Mountain West now has a chip on their shoulder that they didn't even need. They sent 6 teams to the tournament, and yet they now have a chip on their shoulder because pretty much all 5 out of the 6 teams outside of San Diego State got underseeded. Utah State are ranked 22 in the country or 21 in the country in the AP poll that came out today. How the fuck are they an 8 seed? That's what I want to know. And yeah, they lost in the semifinal to San Diego State. But then New Mexico beat San Diego State. New Mexico barely got in with an 11, and then Utah State's sitting there at an 8 seed. This is a terrible 8 seed. Utah State should have been like a 5 or a 6.
Yeah.
And
they had to give that to Gonzaga, Noah. Come on.
Yeah, they should have switched Gonzaga and Utah State is what they should have.
They really should have.
Utah State should have been the 5. Gonzaga should have been an 8, but I digress. Utah State, easy peasy. Easy peasy, gonna play McNeasy in the Sweet 16.
You want to know what I think is a easier pick, Noah? This next game. Because, first of all, we're talking Montana State and Grambling, and I don't think you or I see a world where Montana State makes it to the tournament.
No, I think Montana State loses by about 15 to Grambling in the play game.
Yeah. They lose bad to Grambling. And then that leaves us with Grambling and Purdue. I mean, Noah, this is something that we've been talking about all season, something that we've been waiting for all season. And I think if they get matched up with Grambling, we might get it.
I think there's a chance. I don't think there's enough of a chance that I'm taking Purdue to lose in the first round. But like I said, I'm picking Utah State to make the Sweet 16.
True.
So I don't care about picking Purdue to lose in the first round because I don't care about picking Purdue to win rather because if they do lose to Grambling, I don't have them winning the next game. And this is the same thing I did last year.
Fair.
I had Purdue losing to FAU in the second round. And so they lost to Fairleigh Dickinson, and it was no skin off my back. So I don't think Purdue is going to lose to a 16. I don't think we're the third year in a row they're going to get beat by a 15 or a 16 seed. So I like Purdue, but if you want to pick Grambling, I'm okay with putting Grambling in our bracket because I got Utah State advancing anyways. So it really makes no difference to me.
Then I'll put Grambling in the bracket. I think they blow out Purdue in the first round, if we're going to be honest.
Yeah, if they're winning, it's a tight one. It's not a blowout. But once Zach Edey doesn't have those Big Ten refs, he's going to get in foul trouble, and we'll see what Purdue's actually made of.
Gonna be tough. Noah, going back to the other side of the bracket for our round of 32 to wrap up our Sweet 16 picks. North Carolina, Mississippi State, who you got?
I think North Carolina in a tight one. I think it's tough. I do think North Carolina wins by, I'll call it 7 points, but it's a tighter game and they make some free throws and then that's how they beat either Mississippi State or Michigan State. I advancing North Carolina, but not confidently.
I'm with you there. Again, not one of my favorite picks, but I'll take that over the other options presented. GCU, Charleston.
Easy GCU.
Yep.
If St. Mary's beats GCU in the first round, easy advance for St. Mary's to the Sweet 16. So that's
New Mexico, Baylor.
I do think this will be a tough game. I think it's going to be a tough, tight game. However, I just think Baylor's more talented and more athletic. And I love what Pitino's done with that New Mexico program. And Jamal Mashburn Jr. is having a great season, but I just don't think it's enough to get past Baylor.
No. All right. Nevada, Arizona.
And here's where I think the ride ends for Arizona. The fact that we might have to play 10 seed Nevada is just fucked. because Nevada should not be a 10 seed. And there's no world that we should be playing Nevada in the second round.
No.
But we probably will have to, and I think we lose to Nevada, and this is the end of the Arizona run here.
Yeah, I'm with you there, unfortunately. I wish I see a better Arizona outcome. I just don't.
If it, and if we advance to the Sweet 16, I'm happy.
Yes, very happy.
If we lose to Nevada, I'll be expecting it, but I'll still be pissed off. If we make the Sweet 16 or deeper, I'm fine with it. If we make the Sweet 16 and lose to Baylor, whatever. Baylor's a great team, but
I'm with you. South Carolina Creighton.
I don't think Creighton's advancing past the second round. I just don't. I don't see it happening. Whether they play South Carolina or Oregon, I think they lose that one. And Creighton's one of those weird teams where I think they don't lose to Akron, but I don't see them winning the second game.
No, we missed a whole quadrant of the bracket. That's my bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but whatever.
My bad. Marquette, Western Kentucky. What you got?
I think Western is going to give Marquette
hell of
a tough time. I just don't think it's going to be enough. No. I can't see Western beating Marquette, but I do think Western Kentucky is going to be in there for the first half. Maybe
it's going to be a close game.
Maybe even a good chunk of the second half, but Marquette's ultimately going to win that one.
Yeah, I see Marquette pulling away with that. Colorado, Boise. Who you got in that one?
That's a tough one. I like Boise. I mean, I'm obviously really big on the Mountain West, especially after getting underseeded like they did. Like I said, chip on their shoulder. I like Boise to beat Colorado. I like Florida. I like Florida to advance over either of these teams. One of their starters did fracture his leg in the SEC championship game, but I still think Florida's got enough to get it done. And I said a month ago, I think Florida's going to be they weren't even in the top 25 rankings. I said, watch out for Florida. They're going to be a sneaky team come March as a 6 or a 7 seed. Boom, they're at a 7. Give me Florida.
All right.
Even Sans one starter.
I'll give you Florida. Oakland, Kentucky. I mean,
I don't think we got to spend any time on that at all.
No, Kentucky there.
Love the Horizon League. Had a lot of fun watching them, betting on them this year, but Oakland's not fucking around with Kentucky.
No. NC State, Texas Tech.
And now we're at another one of those really, really tough games to pick.
Yeah. And Noah, I will say, though, both of the times I've made my bracket, both of the times I've broke down the numbers and the matchup, I'm liking NC State here.
See, I go back and forth, right? Because at first, my initial reaction was I really like NC State, especially what they did in the ACC tournament. And then I started crunching numbers, and the way my brain works, I'm very number oriented. You know that, AJ.
Yeah.
And the numbers say Texas Tech should clear this game easy.
I know.
And then I go back and forth, and I'm like, oh God, okay. But looking at the recent games, and so my numbers are saying Texas Tech should easily have this one. I think the spread on this one's like 1.5 or 2.5, so it's close. And I think I gotta trust my numbers. I gotta go with Tech. But if you want NC State, I mean, it's fine. This one's another one that doesn't really matter to me because I think Kentucky's moving on.
Well, again, we'll have a conversation about that. I like I love NC State in that matchup against Texas Tech. I just do. If this was at Texas Tech, Noah, this would be a different conversation. But playing neutral site, like in NC State, Vermont, Duke.
Oh God,
I know, dude.
Every bone in my body wants to pick this upset.
Me too, but
every bone in my body, and then every brain cell I have says that's a stupid idea.
Why would you bet against Duke in March, you idiot? Why would you do that?
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking.
My heart and my body says yes, Vermont. My head says Duke's gonna win this one. That's where I'm at with it. And yes, I have picked Duke in some brackets and Vermont in others. So
me too. And this is kind of like yourself. This is one of those ones I don't think it matters because I don't think either of them make it to the Sweet 16.
Yep. Whoa, a Duke is making the Sweet 16, but not that Duke.
Hold on, Noah. There is some audio playing in my ears. I don't know what the hell it is.
Well, I don't hear it, so.
No, I know, but I do. And it's like blowing my eardrums out. I think it's one of those dipshits on ESPN. I just don't know where it's coming from. Oh. Jesus. I don't know why the hell that started playing all of a sudden. Anyway, sorry. Where are we at? I am
Duke,
lost.
Vermont.
Duke, Vermont. Thank you. What the hell happened here? Did we already talk about these games?
What?
Did we already talk about Nebraska and Texas A&M?
No, your screen's not.
Oh, I'm on a different tab. Son of a bitch. My computer just took a fat dump on me. Sorry. Okay. Nope, I'm back. Oh, no, I'm not back. Am I back? Yes.
Yep, we're on the right one now.
Perfect. Duke, Vermont. Anyway, like I was saying, Noah, I don't care. I don't think either of these teams make it to the Sweet 16. Who do you want?
Let's go with Duke, just so we get Duke versus the Dukes.
Yeah, because we're both on James Madison, right, against the shitty Wisconsin team.
Yeah, Wisconsin has no chance of going anywhere in this tournament.
They have no chance, bro.
James Madison finally eligible for the tournament after I think, winning their conference tournament and regular season the last 2 years, and then they did not win the regular season this year, but they did get the championship for maybe they didn't play in the championship. They won the regular season the last 2 years. Yeah. Finally get the championship after not winning the regular season, but yeah, James Madison, and then give me James Madison to move on over Duke as well. There's some magic with this team, whether it's football or basketball. Their athletic program is just in a really good spot.
It is cooking right now. By the way, if you like what we're cooking, please hit that like button. Nebraska A&M, Noah. Honest to God, Noah, between you and me, I wish both teams could lose.
Yep, I kind of feel the same way. However, I'm feeling pretty crystal clear on this one, to be honest.
Really? Which way are you going?
I think it's like a 0.5 point spread right now, but I like Nebraska a lot in this one.
Do you really?
I think, I think my Scandinavian brethren, the center for Nebraska, transfer from Bradley, Rank Mast, who's a really good 3-point shooter. I think Nebraska's just going to light it up from the 3-point line in this game, and Texas A&M's not going to know what to do with themselves.
Well, again, I think like you and I can agree, it doesn't really matter because they're not making it past the round of 32.
Nope, go ahead and put Houston in Sweet 16.
Oof. Ooh.
No need to talk about that one.
And then let's talk Sweet 16, Noah. Let's just start right there with what I think is going to be a great matchup, Houston, JMU. How do you like the Duke's chances here?
Not at all.
Not at all?
Not at all. I think Houston gets a layup in the Sweet 16 to move on to the Elite Eight.
No, I couldn't agree with you more, unfortunately. UConn, Auburn. I mean, as far as the bracket goes, this is the toughest challenge UConn will have up to this point.
I think Auburn will give UConn everything they can handle.
Everything.
I think
they'll give them all the War Eagles and the Tigers.
I think UConn wins this, though, at the last second.
Oh, you're calling for a buzzer beater?
Maybe not a buzzer beater, but maybe a 2-3 point lead. Auburn misses the final shot of the game.
Okay.
But I think that's going to be a narrow one.
And now I think this is a better matchup than people will be anticipating.
I think it's not even a contest. I think Iowa State wins this by 15 plus.
All right, I won't die on this hill. I'll go Iowa State with you.
Yeah, pick your battle.
I won't die on this one. North Carolina, GCU.
Lopes up, baby.
Lopes all the way up. I thought this was the hill I was going to die on.
and this is why the toughest matchup in the first round of my entire bracket is St. Mary's and GCU, because I think both have the ability to make an Elite Eight run.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a matter of who wins that first game.
I'm with you. I'm with you. But if GCU can get to that point, I think they got the stuff to beat North
And
Carolina.
shout out to the committee for saying fuck you to the mid majors and putting two of the best mid majors against each other in the first round. Like
seriously,
always love to do.
What assholes? Honestly, the committee honestly was on one this season. One. Baylor, Nevada.
I think Baylor takes out their second Mountain West team here again. Same reason that I took Baylor over New Mexico. I just think, Baylor's very consistent in what they do. I don't think they're national championship caliber, but their route they're going to get to like a Final Four or an Elite Eight is going to be easy enough that I think they cruise through that.
I like it. South Carolina, Tennessee, Noah. I've been saying it all season long, though. So it's a tough one, but I've been saying it all season long.
Both teams won on the road against each other this season.
Yeah, they really didn't make this easy for us.
No, this is a really tough matchup to pick, an SEC matchup for the third time this season, and
South Carolina.
If I'm picking them to go that far, I am. I'm doing that. Another scary part of this is like if Oregon beats South Carolina, Oregon might be moving that far.
Oh, Oregon would move on that far, I think. I think Oregon would beat Tennessee too. That's just where I'm sitting. Anyway, Utah State, McNeese, the 8 and the 12, Noah.
I got Utah State. I think the magic run for Will Wade and the McNeese State team ends with Utah State, the best team in the regular season of the Mountain West.
They're good. Florida Marquette. I think this is where Florida's run ends.
Yeah, without that injury in the SEC championship game, I might have liked to pick Florida, but I'm going to go with Marquette here.
I agree. We didn't get to the Sweet 16 here. NC State, Kentucky.
It's got to be Kentucky. I mean, NC State, great run, but I think it's got to be Kentucky here.
It hurts me a little. All right, Kentucky or Marquette? I'm going Marquette here.
That's going to be a really tough one.
It's going to be a tight game.
Yep. Older established team against the young guns. I'm leaning Marquette. I don't think it matters because whoever wins that one's losing to Houston.
Yeah, Houston's looking really good. UConn, Iowa State.
In a national championship caliber game. I'm leaning. Oh man, I this is the hard part because I have a bracket where I have UConn winning the whole thing. I also have a bracket where I have Iowa State winning the entire thing. I think after what Iowa State did to Houston in that Big 12 championship, I'm going to give it to Iowa State here. I don't know what you're thinking on that. I was with the Chiefs this year, kind of. I'm kind of with that dynastic run, and so I kind of want to roll with UConn here. And this is the game that I think will be the toughest to pick, and I think this is like how my confidence level in Sweet 16 matchups. I think this is the one we definitely get. You know what I mean? I'm 10 out of 10. This is the Sweet 16 matchup we get. This is going to be a bitch and a half to pick when the spread is coming open, not even at a pick them because they're going to put it at a half because they're assholes. And so the reason I'm kind of leaning Iowa State in this one is I think Iowa State easily makes the Elite Eight. I don't think anyone's going to stand in their way with that. I feel like UConn could lose to Auburn, which is why I'm more confident picking Iowa State here because I'm more confident in Iowa State being in this game than I am UConn. If we get to this point, then I probably am leaning UConn. But I think Iowa State's got a much greater chance at being here than UConn does.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. No, I like that. I like that a lot. All right.
And Auburn just scares me. They're really good.
I know. They do scare me too. Sweet 16, GCU, Baylor.
I think magic ends for GCU, Baylor into the Final Four.
I don't know, Noah. I do feel like we're getting catfished a little bit by the Baylor team.
I don't think so. I think that western region of the bracket's just really weak, and I don't trust North Carolina or Arizona, and so that leaves Baylor. I mean, Alabama's the 4 I don't trust, and so I could see St. Mary's getting there. I could see Baylor. I could see GCU, being there. And those are like the 3 top teams I see making it that far.
Fair enough.
And I got to give the edge to Baylor.
Utah State, South Carolina. Utah State.
Utah State. That's a tough one because
it is, but
South Carolina scares me with the ability to win the first round game against Oregon, and I'm playing defensively and not picking a Final Four team that I think might lose in the first round.
Yeah. And like we said, Noah, like when you're talking about brackets and the points, it matters when you get to the Final Four, Elite Eight, and that stuff. I like Utah State more than I like Creighton, more than I like Tennessee, more than I like Colorado, more than I like Texas. I like Utah State a lot there.
I agree. I mean,
we got our Final Four. Yeah.
Yeah. Scary thing about that quadrant of the bracket is like I'm looking at Utah State. I'm looking at McNeese. I'm looking at Samford. I'm looking at South Carolina, and I'm looking at Oregon.
Yeah. It sucks. That's the very, very crowded bracket.
And it's a weird mix of teams that I'm looking at in that quadrant, whereas other ones I'm like, okay, yeah, the 1, the 2, the 3 seed, like I like these guys as heavy hitters, but
yeah,
that one, like I can't get behind Purdue. I can't fully get behind Tennessee. And, Florida after that injury, I would have liked them a lot more, but I'm now questioning them.
I get it. I get it, dude. But this is our Final Four we're looking at right now. Houston, Utah State, Iowa State, and Baylor.
I got Houston and Iowa State in this one. We got, by the way, 3 Big 12 teams that we landed on here.
Yeah, somehow.
And yeah, I got Houston, Iowa State. I don't know if you agree with that, AJ, if you're feeling different. Let's get a fourth Houston Iowa State matchup of the season, and I didn't even realize that.
I neither. But like my only hang up is that Utah State, if they go off, they go off. You know what I mean? And so
I think Houston's too much of a defensive mastermind behind Kelvin Sampson's game plan there. That
I'm with you.
Houston's only weakness is sometimes they shoot the ball really shitty.
Yeah,
but they're so good defensive. They're probably maybe the best team in the country defensively. They're maybe one of the best offensive rebounding teams. They just shoot a shitty percentage, but
true.
They get so many of their own misses that
Very, very true. Final Four. Final Noah. Iowa State, Houston.
I think I'm leaning Houston, but only by a slight margin. Iowa State's gotten 2 games against Houston. I'd like Houston to even the score and ultimately come up on top by getting that national championship banner.
What's the total?
133. Low scoring game.
Big 12, yeah. I'm good with that. We'll enter all the other shit just because this is the one, obviously. How do I submit it? Oh, submit bracket. All right. Well, we submitted our bracket to the Degenerate Takes bracket pool, so you should go do the same. The link is in the chat. Go and join that. You win a shirt, some stickers, and if we get 50 people to sign up, a $50 gift card of your choosing. We got Houston in this one. I like it, Noah. I like it. I was thinking tomorrow night, if you're down, you want to handicap the games?
Potentially. I don't know that I'll be able to. Your boys gotta get this lettuce chopped.
Oh, you're gonna chop it off?
Yes, sir.
Oh man, it's been eaten though. I've been liking it.
Yeah, well, about time.
Fair enough. Well, we'll talk about that. We'll get that covered. But we'll be live Thursday through Sunday for college basketball, March Madness action. Cannot wait. Live betting and doing all that fun stuff. But Noah, you got anything else to say about bracketology or the fact that the Bears still suck? I mean, I can run through the chart one more time if you would like.
No. I think we're good. I think we got that all settled.
Okay, just making sure because that's miserable. That's miserable.
I'll let you stare at that all night.
You're shitting me. No, I'm erasing this once we get off the air. I'm not looking at the monster I created, which is unfortunately the truth. But anyway, with all that being said, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Appreciate y'all. And if you like what we're cooking, please drop a like, hit that follow button. Helps us out a lot more than you know. But yeah, hey, thank you all for listening and watching. I'm the Brofect1 AJ. That's the Money Train Noah. And we'll see you next time on Degenerate Takes.